Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakradash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it could be edifying. And I got a video right here, or article, from Al Jazeera, all right, speaking about this Nipah virus. All right, there's an outbreak going on. All right, if you've been paying attention to the news, there's so much going on, but we pay attention to all these different things and we measure the time diligently, with said information. All right, so with these plagues, all right, because the Crown Vic wasn't going to be the only plague that the Lord sent, and that was a damn farce. All right, but the Lord does have real plagues out here with high mortality rates, meaning high kill rates, and they're going to spread in these last days because plagues and these pestilences are a major end time, prophecy as well. Just like earthquakes, just like the uproars that we're seeing, just like the cruel Lord, just like the elect waking up, standing upon their feet. All right, we're seeing everything, all the signs of the end days happening. You also see people are greatly distracted. All right, just as in the days of Noah and the days of Lot. All right, they were eating, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage. People are focused on whatever they're focused on, and they don't see that, this age is coming to an end. All right, so let's get into this. This is Al Jazeera. Why is India's Nipah virus outbreak spooking the world? All right, and also, you had how everybody handled the Crown Vic back in 2020. So, that's a thing, too. It says the virus spreads from animals to animals, or animals to humans via person-to-person contact or through consuming contaminated food. An outbreak of the Nipah virus in India's eastern state of West Bengal has heightened concerns in China and several Southeast Asian countries, prompting them to tighten health screening operations at airports as millions prepare to travel for the Lunar New Year holiday. Since December 2025, two confirmed cases of the virus has been reported in West Bengal, India's health ministry said on Wednesday. The ministry did not provide details about the people affected, but noted that the total of 196 contacts linked to the confirmed cases, all trace contacts have been found asymptomatic and have tested negative for the virus. The situation is under control, under constant monitoring, and all necessary public health measures are in place, the ministry added. The district health officer told Reuters that the two people infected in West Bengal in late December were health workers, both are being treated at the local hospital, the health officer said. All right, it says, is the recent outbreak of the virus a cause for concern? Here's what we know. What is the Nipah virus? The Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus, a disease transmitted from animals such as fruit bats and flying foxes to humans. It can also be transmitted to humans via contaminated food products or directly from person to person. The virus can be deadly. It typically incubates in the human body for 5 to 14 days, with symptoms occurring within 3 or 4 days. It causes severe respiratory and neurological diseases in humans, progressing from fever and headache to acute encephalitis or brain inflammation. In several cases, Kaja Abbas, associate professor of infectious diseases etymology and dynamics at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and Nagasaki University, said symptoms can also include convulsions and mental confusion, and patients can fall into a coma within 24 to 48 hours in severe cases. So this is an interesting, pestilence that the Lord has allowed to spring up on the earth. All right, it says the case fatality rate is high, between 40% to 75% among people infected with the Nipah virus, Abbas told Al Jazeera. However, the virus basic production number, which is the expected number of secondary infections stemming from primary case, is typically below 1, he said. This suggests the virus spreads in only a limited way via human to human transmission, and there is a low likelihood of the virus becoming a widespread pandemic. That's what they say. Okay, that's what they say, but they can mutate. Remember, they had all these damn because during the Crown Vic, the pandemic. All right, you had the shit mutating. All right, they would say it mutated, and then it would be immune to, that's why you had to get the boosters. All right, so they could easily do something with this. What happened to the monkeypox? What happened to the bird flu? What happened to all these different pestilences? All right, they got them. All right, but they're gonna use them, strategically, and ultimately it's up to the Lord when the Lord wants them to be used. But we're seeing, you know, it seems like, hey, this came from bat. They said the Crown Vic came from bats and whatnot, which we know it actually came from a lab. All right, so that's why you can only trust this information so much. All right, but the fact that they're even speaking about this disease and people are getting it, it is a real thing, and it does have a rather high mortality rate. But they're saying its transmission from human to human is still quite low, but it could easily mutate. All right, it can mutate, and then now you got a plan. I've seen enough of these different little movies, going to these pandemics. Back when we had time to watch it, back in the day, a couple of years ago. But nonetheless, hey, this is something to watch for. All right, the Lord said He would send pestilences, plagues, plural, not just one. It wasn't going to be one and done with the Crown Vic. All right, it says, where have outbreaks of the Nipah virus occurred before? The first known outbreak of the NIV was reported in 1998 when pig farmers and butchers in Malaysia and Singapore contracted it from infected pigs. Ew. At least 250 people were infected with more than 100 deaths. Interesting. It says in 2014, NIV infections in the Philippines were associated with the slaughter of horses and consumption of infected horse meat. Man, what the hell? Since 2001, there have been sporadic, but and see, that's why these damn heathens need slavery, man. They just be eating anything. It says since 2001, there has been sporadic but recurrent outbreaks in South Asia, particularly in Bangladesh and India. According to the World Health Organization, outbreaks in Bangladesh have been linked to humans consuming contaminated raw palm sap, having close contact with other people's secretions and excretions, and caring for infected patients, and everybody, be licking and sucking on each other in today's day, man. So, and sharing vapes and shit, so shit can spread fast, man. All right, so they're saying this is something that affects mainly, these gooks. All right, but hey, Esau never let a good crisis go to waste. All right, whenever they want to pull that pandemic card back out, they can easily do it, and they know they got most of you people to react. And for those that don't want to comply nowadays, all right, they got the ice up in there now. It says, according to the WHO, or the World Health Organization, the first cases in India were recorded in West Bengal. Or did I already get past this? Oh, no. West Bengal in 2007, but an earlier outbreak was retrospectively identified in the state's Siliguri city in 2001. The 2001 Siliguri outbreak occurred in health care setting where 75% of cases were hospital staff or visitors, the WHO said. Since 2018, dozens of deaths have been reported in India's Kerala state, which is now regarded as the world's highest risk region for the virus. The reason for the other outbreaks in Indian states are unclear. Some medical experts have suggested outbreaks may have been triggered by human consumption of fruit contaminated by bat saliva or urine, while the Indian Council of Medical Research have suggested that while the virus is primarily spread by physical contact, it may also be airborne. Interesting. According to Abbas, there is no clear evidence about the cause of the latest outbreak in West Bengal, which has occurred after decades without outbreaks. And see, that's because we're in a time where the Lord is sending the plagues, man. And I'm gonna stop right there. I ain't gonna bore you. Just wanted to get some background information on what this is. All right, because they could easily pull one of these bad boys to the front and say, hey, we got an outbreak on our hands. Everything needs to be shut down. And while we're at it, we need all y'all to get this digital ID. Your Maxine certificate will be digital now. Okay. All right. We saw how they were setting this up, years ago. All right. They could easily come through with the okie doke now. But let's get some of this because the Lord is prophesying against this place now. You know, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." Right? The Lord has, he has contention with the inhabitants of the earth, man. Outside of America, outside of the elect, you know. So hey, he's setting up. He's not setting up to come and honor and cherish this place. He's coming to destroy the powers that be. All right, their kingdoms. All right, he's gonna have Israel put them in subjection. You know, America's gonna be utterly destroyed. The state of Israel is gonna be utterly destroyed. This is what the Lord has planned for this place. Verse 3, it says, "A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?" Exactly. So they're saying if this outbreak has been kind of dormant, this virus has been dormant for some time, and now it's making a reemergence. Hey, the Lord is controlling that. The Lord said he kills, he makes alive, he wounds, and he heals. So whenever you have a disease, all right, a pestilence that attacks the immune system, the Lord has to allow that, to affect that person, And we in these feeble bodies anyway. We're subject to get sick. There's no real nutrients in the food. The Lord has medicines made of the earth, but, they put petroleum-based medicines, which isn't real medicine. Verse 6, it says, "May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" Exactly. So the Lord is judging this place, all right? Not only just physical pestilences, but also in, in death, in this weather, all right, and how this devil's moving. All right, all of this is the inevitability of prophecy coming to pass. This is how we measure these things. It says, verse 8 again, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?" All right, it says, "The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?" All right, so I just want to bring that out, all right, because the Lord sends the plagues, man. The Lord kills, he makes alive. All right, he let's get this. I haven't brought this out in a while. Show you that the Lord is in full control. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7, it says, "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things." So any pestilences, plagues, diseases, if it got a high mortality rate, the Lord, hey, he orchestrated that, man. He controls that. Right? And Yahweh Shah said that there would be, that pestilences would be an end time prophecy, man. All right, so that's why we keep up with these different things. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So, the disciples wanted to know when the end of this age would be. All right, they thought it was coming back then. All right, but it's really in this time that we're living right now. All right, we're ever so close. Verse 4, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many." And we see that. We see a lot of people that come up. They try to come and say, you had that guy in Africa, all right, building arks and shit, and the flood didn't come, on December 25th like he claimed. You had thousands of motherfuckers following him falsely. All right, but you also got those that come in the spirit as if they're anointed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They might claim to be Israelites. All right, but they're not. They're false. Verse 6, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled." And are we not seeing that? All right, are we not hearing that Iran is supposed to be attacked by Israel and America at any day now? That they're supposed to go through with another strike? That's a rumor of war. It says, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So there's things that still need to happen. All right, we're seeing gold hitting all-time highs, silver hitting all-time highs. It's going to get worse before it gets worse, man. All right. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We're seeing that. World War III, the pretense for World War III is already set. The lines are being drawn in the sand. The alliances are being created. It says, and there shall be famines, all right, lack of food, pestilences, see? And that's what this video was about. You know, this Nipah virus, you know, but it says plural, pestilences in plural, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So it's about to get a hell of a lot worse, man. You know, these are the times that we're in. So we'll see. They might not do anything with this Nipah virus. They might do something with it. But either way, as the watchman, hey, we report on it. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Makakadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Haru well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.